Hello, Virtual NSXPO and future YouTube audience. I'm Richard.
And I'm Liz, and this is our 1992 NSX.
There are 287 others like it, but this one is ours. It is no garage queen or museum piece. It currently has over 287,000 miles on the odometer and has driven laps around 21 different racetracks to date.
Together, we've driven to every NSX Expo since 2015, and we were really looking forward to going to Portland this year, but 2020 happened, so here we are. Coming to you from the foothills of the Smoky Mountains rather than the Cascades. We will definitely miss our friends and NSX Club family, but we're happy to get to connect with you with this online edition.
Yeah, we're honored to be able to contribute to this year's Virtual NSX Expo, and we hope you'll enjoy hearing about the past, present, and future of our own NSX experience and what we're calling Rescue to Racetracks, the story
so far
of the Lap of the World NSX.
It all started in 2008 with a 26-year-old Richard. In his defense, he was left unsupervised.
So yeah, you could say buying this car was really the first adventure. After fawning over the NSX in my dad's car magazines and later in video games, I found myself in 2008 with a stable job, a garage, and some extra cash. After a protracted search, I found my NSX on eBay, flew one way to New York, and paid $16,000 for a clean title, running, driving, manual NSX. Back when that was a thing you could do. Granted, for that low price, I then drove the roughly 800 miles back home with the electrical systems failing around me as I went. I lost the speedometer in Jersey, the dash lights in Pennsylvania, and the wired-in radar detector refused to turn off as I approached Virginia. This was on top of probably an even dozen active diagnostic codes and a transaxle in the dreaded snap ring range. Suffice to say, it had been a bit neglected. However, this NSX has been nothing if not resilient, and so after 12 hours in a state of continual mild pucker, I made it back to Tennessee without assistance and got to work. It took 2 years. 2 years of troubleshooting, diagnostics, wrenching, shop visits, and plenty of stupid questions on the NSX Prime forum. But after those 2 years, in addition to VIP status at Harper Acura's parts desk, I had what most would consider a fully capable Acura NSX. And as we all know, that's a hell of a car. One I wanted to experience to the fullest. August of 2010 saw my NSX on the track for the first time at Talladega Grand Prix Raceway, or Little Talladega in Alabama. That successful outing led to another, and another, and another, and before long I had graduated NASA's HPDE ladder and was granted a time trial license. Now, I don't have anywhere near the competition resume of some of the other presenters at this virtual expo, nor do I consider myself a quote-unquote racing driver, even though I have done some wheel-to-wheel events in other cars. That said, over a couple of seasons, this NSX and I did manage to podium a few time trial events, including one win. Unfortunately, subsequent rule changes and a reluctance on my part to ruin the car for road use conspired to put a damper on my competitive aspirations. However, when one door closes, as they say, this change of priorities coincided with my decision to attend my first NS Expo in 2013. And that event in Raleigh, North Carolina really sold me on making NS Expo a fixture on my calendar, and although I promptly then missed the 2014 edition, I promise I had a good excuse.
He was putting a ring on it. At the top of a castle ruin overlooking the Nürburgring. So, you could say I knew what I was getting into long before we had our wedding bands made from a broken NSX connecting rod. Not ours, but I think we still owe that guy a bottle opener. In fact, our first trip together was a weekend with friends at Barber Motorsports Park over Valentine's Day, I might add. However, my first NS Expo was the 2015 event in Palm Springs. Richard will say he talked me into it, but it really didn't take much convincing, and I certainly have no regrets. I enjoyed the amazing desert scenery, the pageantry of the car show at the Air Museum, the spectacle of the banquet, and the excitement of the track day at Thermal. At the track, Richard was instructing, and I get bored easily, so I volunteered to help, which is how I met Jim, aka Cause, who put me in charge of loaning out helmets for people who didn't bring their own. Which, incidentally, is how I met Peter Cunningham, who quite politely allowed me to explain to him how a helmet should fit and hold his phone as collateral to give it back to me afterwards. Only later did I make the connection between him and the number 42 real-time racing NSX on display in the paddock. Through that long weekend, we met so many people who we still call friends and we always look forward to seeing. Each year is a little like a class reunion, but, one where you actually like a majority of the people attending. I've enjoyed every expo I've been to, either as a guest, an unofficial volunteer, or more recently, a volunteer official enough to have a radio. That's when you know you've made it, folks. Volunteering does mean some work, but it's work put back into the club and the community that we both greatly enjoy. Enough that we organized our own smaller scale event in the Southeast region, an NS Expedition through the Smoky Mountains in 2019, an event that we really hope to host again, once we can do so responsibly. Since 2015, we have visited Orlando, Elkhart Lake, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C., driving our NSX to and from each event and around a different regional racetrack each time. Somewhere in that process, we realized we both really enjoyed the adventure of taking road trips to new places. Richard enjoyed learning and driving each new racetrack, and at some point in there, something clicked. And this is how we ended up on YouTube and why you should smash that.
Whoa. We don't do that on this channel. She's right, though, about why we ended up on YouTube. That model of using an exciting car to experience different parts of the country while driving different racetracks appealed to me on many levels. I love to travel, I'm a geography nerd, a history geek, a driving enthusiast, and although I'm an off-screen introvert, I enjoy having a creative outlet like making videos. That led me to rebrand and relaunch my YouTube channel as Lap of the World, where we are attempting to flip the script on the Top Gear trope of driving all of the cars around one track and talking about the cars, to instead drive one car around all of the tracks and talk about the tracks. Or for the younger generations, I'm basically playing racetrack Pokemon. Gotta drive them all. The journey to drive an NSX around as many road courses as I can across the country and in success around the world is going to be a long burn. To date, this car has been around Little Talladega, Carolina Motorsports Park, Virginia International, Road Atlanta, Nashville Superspeedway, Sebring, Barber, High Plains, Thermal Club, Charlotte's Roval, Road America, Atlanta Motorsports Park, Dominion Raceway, Thunderhill, Corvette Museum, NC Car, Memphis International, Summit Point, The Firm, Waterford Hills, and most recently the driving range at Dakota County Technical College. But there are plenty more to come with something like 130 road courses in North America alone. I'm more worried about running out of time to drive them than running out of tracks to drive. What I'm not worried about is our NSX's ability to carry the torch for a long time to come. It might be strange to consider an NSX as a practical track car, but in reality, while they are no Integra or S2000 in that respect, most consumables are still readily available and relatively inexpensive. It has healthy aftermarket support, as evidenced by the many vendors and sponsors supporting this event and the community at large. And at least if left stockish, they will apparently run forever, as the 200,000 mile club really isn't that exclusive anymore. Precision crafted performance, it seems, isn't just a marketing slogan. You buy any generation of NSX, of course, because you want the car.
But you keep it for 12 years because of the community that grows around it.
We hope you've enjoyed hearing about our own NSX's journey from rescue to racetracks and how it's facilitated so many awesome experiences and connected us with so many amazing people.
Thanks for watching, and thank you to the NSX Club for the opportunity to share our story with this amazing car.
And if you do want to follow the continued journey of this particular NSX, Liz, I won't stop you this time.
Sure. If you want to follow the continued journey of this NSX, we invite you to subscribe to Lap of the World on YouTube or follow us on Instagram.
We hope you enjoy the rest of your Virtual NSXPO 2020. And on behalf of our son Gabe, who is behind the camera, I'm Richard.
And I'm Liz.
And we will see you all in the next video, if not out at the track.
Or in Portland next year.